Hey folks, this is Rhykker with a gaming news wrap-up video where we discuss the happenings of the week. This week's topics include the huge hype over the new unannounced Diablo game, Diablo 3 introducing themed seasons, more proof that Cyberpunk 2077 will be revealed at E3, and more. As always, topic timestamps can be found in the video description if you want to skip ahead. Make sure to ring the sub notification bell to be alerted of new Saturday episodes, and if you're wondering why this episode is coming up early, it's because of the big Diablo news that people have been messaging me about non-stop asking when I'm going to cover it. And we'll get to that real fast, but first, Cyberpunk 2077. For months now, we've been bringing up evidence that Cyberpunk 2077 will be revealed at this year's E3, which is next week. Well, to add to that evidence, CD Projekt Red has just this week filed a trademark application for Cyberpunk 2077 just in time for E3. I guess we'll find out soon enough. On to some quick Path of Exile news. The new league, Incursion, started last Friday, and it's being well received by players. Feedback from the community includes that the new mechanic is interesting, it blends seamlessly with the existing gameplay, it feels already like a core part of the game, and the mechanic is also rewarding to use while leveling, rather than being something that you save for endgame. Now that said, early feedback for new Path of Exile leagues tends to be more positive, and it can take a couple weeks before real informed opinions start to emerge. But I turn the question to you folks, what are your preliminary thoughts on Incursion? I've only had time to play on the Friday of launch. I streamed the start of the league. We got to, I think, Act 5, and I unfortunately didn't have much of a chance to toy around with the new mechanic. Alright, on to the Diablo news. Let's start with Diablo 3. Blizzard this week put up a blog post about Season 14. And they announced the start of what they call themed seasons. And Season 14, the first themed season, will be the Season of Greed. Throughout the entirety of the season, all treasure goblin spawns will be doubled. In other words, whenever you encounter a goblin, there will be a duplicate of that same goblin. This does not apply to goblin packs, nor does it apply to bandit shrines, nor does it apply to goblins found in the vault. Also, games are still restricted to one instance of Whimsydale, so finding a double rainbow goblin doesn't really help. Now, I love the idea of themed seasons. I've been wishing Blizzard would add something like this for a long time. And I look forward to seeing what future seasonal themes will be, what other ideas, what other seasons, what other themes are we going to get? And in fact, I encourage you folks to sound off in the comment section with your ideas for a really cool seasonal theme. Drop a comment with your idea and upvote other people's ideas that you like. Now also in the blog post, they revealed what the cosmetic seasonal rewards would be. We get a portrait frame, we get a pennant. The Hadrig's gift sets for this season include Inna, Marauder, Raycor, Delzir's Magnum Opus, Akan, Zunimasa, and Pestilence. Blizzard reiterated that the new season begins on June 15th, but for the first time ever, they told us when to anticipate the season ending. They said roughly around September 16th, and this date is subject to change. You can check out the blog post for the full details on what conquests are available and anything that you want to know about the season. But one interesting thing that Blizzard wrote here in this post was, quote, "In addition to doubling up on everyone's favorite treasure-thieving troublemakers, other celebrations may spring up across the globe as we kick off this exciting new seasonal concept. Be sure to keep a close eye on Twitter and Facebook for more information as we move into Season 14. I don't really know what to make of that. I don't know what they're teasing, but I look forward to finding out. But I turn the question to you folks if you have any idea as to what that may mean. Alright, on to the big topic here, the new unannounced Diablo project. So it happened recently that someone noticed in the Blizzard job postings this line verbatim, quote, "We're working on a new unannounced Diablo project." And this was for a job posting listed under the unannounced project section of Blizzard's job postings. This gained huge traction on social media, and then soon enough, journalistic outlets started covering it, and just everyone's been absolutely hyped over the confirmation now of a new unannounced Diablo game. Now, I actually wasn't planning on covering this news until my regular Saturday video. However, I've gotten message after message on Twitter, on YouTube, everywhere, people asking me, how come you're not covering this yet? Where's your video on this? And the reality here is that this doesn't tell us anything new. Yes, there's a new Diablo project in the works. and we've known that for years. Let me direct you folks to this snippet from a video that I published on March 3rd, 2016, in which I'm talking about job postings from summer 2015. Before we get to the more recent news, let's step back a bit. August 2015, 7 months ago, there was a new Blizzard job listing for an art director for an unannounced Diablo project. Yeah, art director for an unannounced project in the Diablo universe. At the time, we just thought this meant expansion. But there was one thing about it. Or it was either expansion or Diablo 4. You know, it was one or the other. But one thing, in the job write-up, Blizzard Entertainment, the developer of the most epic games in the world, is seeking an exceptionally skilled and passionate art director to help develop Blizzard's next hit game. I'll repeat, Blizzard's next hit game. If you were making an expansion, would you use the term next hit game? I mean, maybe. You can argue that. But to me, that sounds like a new game. That sounds more like a Diablo 4. So if you're not new to my channel, you know that I talk about Diablo job postings all the time. For the past several weeks, I've been trying to every week keep you folks updated on the job postings that have appeared and disappeared under the Diablo section on the Blizzard job listings website. And it seems what people are really latching onto as this being some kind of a confirmation is that Blizzard used the exact words, quote, "We're working on a new unannounced Diablo project." However, we have seen that ever since the year 2015, they have been using these terms. They haven't said that specific sentence, but they've said unannounced Diablo project. Those exact words have been used. This is perhaps the most blatantly that they've phrased it, but it's the same information, just stated slightly differently. And moreover, all of these job postings, because now we can see, if we go to the Blizzard job postings website, we see a bunch of job postings under unlisted, but categorized as Diablo, and they all say we're working on a new unannounced Diablo project. Every single one of these job postings, every single one, is one that I have previously spoken about. All they have done is move them out from, they did this about around this week or in the last couple weeks, they've been slowly migrating these job postings from the Diablo section to the unannounced game section. They are the same jobs. I've been keeping records of the jobs. Literally every single job that you see there under unannounced project previously was posted under the Diablo section. For whatever reason, Blizzard is just reworking their backend. As of this recording, there's only one job posting left under the Diablo section. It's for executive producer, but that might even vanish as well. Earlier today, there were 5 postings left. Blizzard, again, has just been moving these job postings over. This is clerical stuff. This is secretary work. So for me personally, I'm not excited, or at least I'm not any more excited, because I already knew. I thought we all already knew that there's a new Diablo project in the works, but for whatever reason, if this helps people get on board with the idea, if this sentence, "We're working on a new unannounced Diablo project," if that is what it takes for people to finally believe this, then fine. I don't understand why everyone's losing their crap now and hasn't been over the past 2 years. But if we're now all on board, and we are now all finally believers that there is a new unannounced Diablo project in the works, then fine. I'll reiterate something that we said in a recent video within the last month or two, I want to say, which was that before Diablo 3 was officially announced, there were a bunch of job postings going up for a couple of years. Now it's been a couple of years that we've had these job postings going up for an unannounced Diablo project. There's something coming, and it is bigger than a character pack for Diablo 3. Will Blizzard be ready to reveal this at this BlizzCon? Who knows? One can hope. Now, if you folks want regular updates on what's going on with the new Diablo game, any developments, what's going on with the job postings, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. You can rest assured if anything's going on, I'll make a video about it. And that's gonna wrap up this week's video. We don't have a ton of other news because it's still fairly early in the week, but I encourage you to check out last week's video where we discuss all the leaks surrounding Fallout 76. And if you have any ideas for a news story you'd like to see me cover in a future video, you can head on over to the subreddit and post a link. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch and Patreon supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can pledge on Patreon, where your support is immensely appreciated. If you enjoyed this video, please share it, check out these other videos, and subscribe to join Rhykkers Raiders for more gaming content.